中共刊发党内文件，强制公职人员子女入学蒙语学校，欲以学生为人质，威胁恐吓并镇压内蒙古民众抗议。据蒙古族警察爆料，中共控制蒙语事件发展，加快逮捕蒙古族百姓，镇压抗议手段卑劣、暴力凶残。
Би алтан авсан хүн байна. Миний гэрэг өнөөдөр хасраас сурцгаа. Монгол хүн ч нэрээс ийм л байт юм байна. Үхэл өсөв чихэн төлөө бухандал болж.
这晚上谁去啊？晚上时间跟我们去吧。倒一下这个。下来吧，下来吧。不行，身份证不还给我吗？跟我走。去哪儿？穿好东西，穿好衣服，跟我上派出所。
你回来不到了哈。我是跟2个小时了去哈。
别让别工作啊！
你们是哪个派出所的？
兴隆湖，我们是兴隆派出所的。您那拍视频可以，但是不要掐头去尾，知道吧？
可以。
掐头去尾发网上追究您行政责任。
可以，保证不掐。
我跟你讲嘛，我们家
我们现在正在是进行日常检查，全程10把头录像啊。
那为什么要带走呢？
没有说带笑啥，回派出所接受询问啊。
可以。
9月5日，网友视频爆料湖南仍然洪水泛滥，但中共掩盖相关报道，让农田遭殃，百姓受苦。中共官媒刊文赞扬大陆儿童被洗脑成果，闻国歌及敬礼的行为扼杀天性，灭绝人性。大陆门户网站近日爆料，四川一大型科技公司已为裁员做准备，为规避法律纠纷，要求员工签署自愿书，无视劳动法，残酷压榨民众。中共官媒报道，俄罗斯国防部长提醒生物武器威胁，向世界表示对中共的警惕态度。9月6日，港人在九龙游行，反对港区国安法，要求恢复立法会选举，反对港府推行与大陆恢复通关的健康码。防暴警察采取近似中共解放军穿插分割战术，强行镇压游行，暴力逮捕至少90位无辜民众。
Iran has stockpiled around 10 times more enriched uranium than permitted by the International Atomic Energy Agency. The UN's watchdog said that Iran now has more than 2,000 kilograms, which is well above the 300 kilograms cap it agreed in 2015's nuclear deal. Also, the material's concentration level was up to 4.5%, higher than the 3.7% limit. This comes after Iran let the IAEA inspect one of the two suspected nuclear sites where it took environmental samples. Prior to the 2015 accord, Iran had stockpiled far more tons of uranium with nearly 20% purity.
Yeah, so let me talk about the China situation overall. So probably the biggest failure of American foreign policy over the past 40 years is how we've dealt with China. There was this mantra that somehow as China became richer, as we turned a blind eye to Chinese malign activity, whether it's stealing our IP or engaging in unfair trade practices or bullying its neighbors, if we just turned about bullying its own people at Tiananmen Square, if we would turn the other cheek, turn a blind eye, that China would become richer. As it became richer and the middle class in China grew, they'd become more like us. And we always want to believe that everyone wants to become like us, that they become more Western, more democratic. In fact, all the opposite occurred. China's human rights violations have gotten worse and worse over the years, whether it's the Uyghurs or religious minorities or their neighbors, the people who enjoyed democracy in Hong Kong until just recently, the bullying of Taiwan. So we've seen very malign Chinese activity. The theft of intellectual property has gotten so bad that Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, recently called it the greatest wealth transfer in human history was a theft by the Chinese of our intellectual property. We had a phase one trade deal that partially addressed some of the unfair trade practices and was a huge step in the right direction. But as soon as that was signed, we ended up with the president calls it the China plague or the COVID outbreak here. Which made that somewhat irrelevant because of the tremendous losses we suffered. Again, because the Chinese wouldn't share the virus samples with us early, wouldn't let CDC doctors come into China early to investigate, wouldn't let WHO doctors come into China to investigate, wouldn't restrict travel from China to overseas, especially to Europe, when they were restricting travel within China. When it comes to the election, everything that they're doing across the board, whether it's political influence through the Confucius Institutes, whether it's them trying to influence business leaders by saying, if you don't support us in the U.S., your companies won't have opportunities in China, and convey that to your governors and convey that to your political leaders. The massive, and I'm not going to go into all the intelligence, but the massive activities of the Chinese in the cyber realm, it's really an extraordinary thing that we're facing. The challenge of the Chinese Communist Party and the threat that it poses to the United States and our allies is of critical importance to us right now.
I think in the long term, in terms of American security policy, China is going to be a much more powerful country than Russia.
There's no country that presents a broader, more comprehensive threat to America's innovation, to our economic security, and to our democratic ideas than China does.
I believe we've got to live in reality. Communist China, it wants to control the entire world, including Americans.
Let's be clear, the Chinese Communist Party is a Marxist-Leninist organization. The party General Secretary Xi Jinping sees himself as Joseph Stalin's successor.
China's a longer-term threat, and we need to be very clear-eyed about what they are and what they aren't.
They're not our partner. They're never going to be our partner under the existing leadership team.
Under President Xi's rule, the Chinese Communist Party is heading even faster and further in the wrong direction. More internal repression, more predatory economic practices, more heavy-handedness, and most concerning for me, a more aggressive military posture.
For China, success is a zero-sum game.
even before I met you, you came. Well, you had a. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, you had a press conference at the National Press Club right here in downtown D.C., a block from the White House, right across, I think, from the Treasury, a block away, in 2017, and you warned the American people. And I remember people were laughing. Who's this guy? Who's this crazy Chinese guy? Right? Who's this guy? What's he warning us about? The Chinese Communist Party is our partner. They're in all our businesses. What is he warning us about? They're good guys, right? You know, Joe Biden. Come on, man. So, Miles, I want to go back 3 years. What was your warning to the United States in 2017? What did you warn the United States about the Chinese Communist Party, and what would happen if people in the United States didn't start to wake up and understand the enemy that we had?
Sir, thank you. Remember this. I want to correct. 3 years ago, before the meet you, I talked to. I'm in the YouTube. I broadcast. You know, it's the more now until now, it's 3,000 times the live broadcast videos. I meet you before I warning give America. Also, the person 100% you say correct. I talk to America. Also, I gave American FBI as the 1,000 document. Okay, including I'm in the 2017 September, same today. It's the September 4. It's 3 years ago. Today is the 2017 September 4 in the DC and the press conference. I talk to America. I have 2 secret, high qualified document from CCP inside. I get this one. One is CCP send a spy to America. They work in the Bank of China in New York. Another one is CCP have a strategy how can take down America. All of this is the 2 documents I give for America FBI. Before I go to the press conference, FBI, the agents, I ask them, do you verify my document give you that's true as fake? They tell me, yes, we are check. We are technically check. That's true. I'll say, okay. Then I go to the press conference. I have another 3 as high qualified as document. But before press conference, I in the bathroom, I burned. I fired. Why? I think it's too dangerous for my family. Also, America, nobody believes me anymore. Nobody asked me, what is Milesguo before the 1 hours in the DC 3 years ago, September 4th, same today. Which document I burned? I told you, sir, you never ask me, right? Now I in the war room. Now I can give you the answer. I burned this document. Is CCP called 13579 high qualified document. They have the program make the biological weapon and the chemical weapon. They talk how can use the P3 lab, P4 lab, and make the biology weapon, and China how can make is the chemical weapon. That's why, sir, 3 years ago I can see, please, America and the West of the world. Do you prepare? Are you ready? Is CCP the black cloud? Is a common use sky? That's a warning. Now, after 3 years, sir, you can see this. I before talk HNA, also I talk the Jack Ma, I talk the TikTok, I talk the Zoom, I talk the WeChat. Everything's happened, sir. Do you remember I meet you first time 2017? After is the September, October, I think so. You leave the White House, I meet you. I told them everything, give you this. Your eye, open the eye, you look at me, you also think me is crazy mouse. But I don't care. I don't care who, how watch me, how think me. I use my life, everything. I want to give to America and the West of the world. I give provide what is my note from the insights based the intelligence CCP have the program, 3F program and BGY program. They want to make American weird, make American unstable. and take down America, kill America. Now, after 3 years, we look at the coronavirus, we look at the economy, we look at the TikTok, we look at the HNA, we look at the Jack Ma, we look at all this SOE company in the NASDAQ. Now, sir, first time I talk this. One hand, CCP is evil. It's for your country, kill you all the American people, 160,000 people, get 5 million people get infected coronavirus, and stole your job, stole your technology. On the other hand, CCP is the paper. I think the behind the real black hand, not the CCP, is from your country. It's everything by your country owned. Dollar, Wall Street, and technically, everything is America gave the CCP, WTO, the contract. CCP, 2001, 1.3 trillion GDP. Now it's a $14 trillion GDP. That's why CCP must be steal your dollar, steal your technique, because Wall Street, American media, American dollar, you behind the help of the CCP, bigger grows fast. They know you make the bigger evil. It's the take back, attack back America. So America, the 160,000 people die and the 5 million people get infected. The really criminal, not only CCP. Behind this black hand is from America, from the Wall Street.
Miles, hang on 1 second. We got to take a commercial break and come right back to you. Milesguo saying, hey, it's not just the CCP. They're the Frankenstein monster that's been created by Wall Street, created by the giant corporations that are in business with them, the party of Davos, because the CCP is the overseers of the slave labor of the Chinese people, and that's what makes the business model work. Remember, Milesguo's warning to America is that, hey, you've got they're infiltrated over here, and the reason you can't get rid of the CCP is that they're the business partners of the financial community, the business partners of Wall Street, the business partners of the City of London and global corporations. Okay, we're going to take a short commercial break. The Chinese Communist Party's plan for global domination. We're not having tinfoil hats. It's all reality. Here next. War and Pandemic.
In the China website, they are talk to the senator is the Pompeo. Is it the guy? Is the second wife? They think the second wife is a big mistake. Is the Pompeo? Pompeo is really poor. If small the house, also by leasing, not buy. Also, the lot of rumors say Pompeo is a reaper man, is the evil man. All the China social media about the Pompeo the scandal, they rumor him. Sir, could you think? Even you go to the China media, see Stephen Kimbano immediately dismiss you all this every information about you. Milesguo, you tap, immediately dismiss. Who can make in China social media, Beijing TV, CCP, all the CCP control the media, everything the CCP control media is 100% billion time rumor to Pompeo, reaper, as a poor guy, evil guy. Why they scared the Pompeo? Because Pompeo is talk to truth. Pompeo is talk to America truth. That's why Stephen Kimbano in China is evil. Milesguo, same all the Chinese anti-CCP guy is get 3 title: reaper, liar, crazy. Same you, same everybody. So, sir, I want you now. This every time I want you correct, brother. Say Steve crazy Bannon. Okay? America, the US is the biggest victim of the CCP about the economy, about the technology, about you lose the job. But you look at Chinese, it's 1.4 billion people, it's the slave by 0.0000001. I don't know how many zero. Only maybe 10 family and maybe 5 family control all the China do slave. Then America, maybe 10% of people control all the America, all the assets, right? Then there's the 10% of people in the Wall Street they control the media. They control is the deep state, right? They work with the CCP, sleep out 1.4 billion Chinese.
印度记录了超过9万例最高的单日新增感染数。随着感染病例激增，伊拉克的医院担心面临失去控制的困境。尽管感染病例减少，墨尔本仍将保持强硬的社会疏离措施。德国确诊新增感染988例，总数达到24万9千例。韩国新增感染连续4天保持在200例以下。在西雅图郊区的亚马逊公司员工规模扩大到了2万5千名。超级台风海神可能成为日本史上最强的风暴。随着紧张关系的升级，美国考虑将中国最大的芯片制造商列入黑名单。研究专家说 ，CCP 病毒感染将在秋季大增，在大选日之后达到顶峰。